Hello, everyone. It's Friday.
Every time we start a podcast, I think that you're going to say, hello, lady.
Hello, lady. That's because Step Brothers is quite possibly the greatest movie ever.
Yes.
It has so many good quotable. I need to watch it sometime soon. We actually watched a really good movie on Netflix. God, what's his name? He's the Australian actor, I think. Brown hair.
No idea.
Anyways.
What was it about? It was a rom-com?
No, it was like a thriller. So his wife got kidnapped at a gas station.
Oh, kind of like, what's the movie, Art, help us out here.
Where we both have brain fog today.
We are so tired, guys. What is it?
Gerard Butler, that's it. I love Gerard Butler. So he had a new movie on Netflix. Nick and I watched it. It was really good. It's called Last Seen Alive. And basically he is taking his wife to her mother's house. She had cheated on him, I think, and they were taking some time apart, and they were at a gas station 15 minutes from her mom's house, and she gets kidnapped. And Nick was like, "This is my worst nightmare." He's like, "This is scarier than a scary movie for me." And he's like, I want to believe that you would be able to hold your own because you're really strong, but you're also not a fighter. It's
that's why you need to get your self-defense.
I know. Listen, that's our next date night. Nick and I are going to a shooting range. Nick's parents' anniversary were yesterday. They actually just bought guns for their anniversary.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was really good because I feel like there've been no good movies that have came out on Netflix lately or anything.
Yeah, so we're really into Blacklist. So the new season just dropped, so we've been watching that.
I feel like Nick and I stopped watching that because it was not good anymore.
Yeah, so some things have changed,
okay.
And I think it's good again. We're also watching The Handmaid's Tale, which is, you guys, it's
so intense.
It's intense. It's messed up. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just be honest, it's messed up, but I can't stop watching it. And what else have we been watching?
We're out of shows.
SEAL Team.
That's what. Yeah, Nick and I need to get into that. Yeah, we've been out of shows. And so we're trying to grab at different movies. And of course, freaking it's football season. So Monday, Thursday, Sunday, football's on all day.
We don't subscribe to those channels, so we don't get it in our house.
And then the Phillies are in the playoffs right now. So that's a thing. And that's my life with my husband because he's a major sports fan. We were actually arguing over sports fan levels, statuses. And I was talking about how I'm a Bears fan. And he's like, yeah, but I feel like you're a moderate level fan. You went shopping during the Bears game Sunday. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry I'm not an extreme psychotic fan that literally won't book flights or want to ride in a car during games to go to our in-laws' house because you'll miss the game. I'm sorry. I don't read sports news every morning. I'm learning. And he's like, do you even know who the offensive tackle is of the? I'm like, I don't even know. Okay, this is just an annoying conversation to have with you right now.
Okay, well, he has way too much time on his hands. It's like our friend Matt. He loves all sports, and he can tell you everything about every team. Or Adam, Art's best friend, and so they don't even ask us anymore to do fantasy football. I'm like, I don't have time for that because literally my strategy for playing fantasy football is picking the team that I like. So if it's North Carolina, I like that state, I like their colors, I'm going to pick them. I don't have the time to learn these things.
But it's a different passion.
It is a different passion,
and that's what I think that segues really well.
Yep,
into what we're talking about today because
you are average.
I am an average. So we titled this podcast 5 Choices, and there was a really cool little blurb. Nick Saban, the Alabama football coach, some would argue the greatest college football coach of all time. He was in a press conference and he was talking about how I think we have 5 choices in this life. You can choose to be bad at what we do. We can choose to be average at what we do. We can choose to be good at what we do. We can choose to be excellent at what we do, or we can choose to be elite. And, if you want to be excellent or elite, you have to be willing to do things that others don't. You have to be willing to do special things. You have to be willing to have special focus, have a special intensity, passion, drive. You have to basically hold yourself to a higher standard all the time. And I think a lot of people hear that and they might think that's exhausting. But you have to look at where you're doing that in life and where you aren't. Because I think that's where you'll see your prior. I'd say maybe Liz and I would say we're excellent to elite level, or we're working to be elite level practitioners. That's what I want to spend my time doing. I want to learn. I want to constantly be, experimenting and addressing problems with people and learning and understanding the human body better. I would say that's where I put my priority. And obviously my family, like that is very much so up there, and my own health. Other people, it's sports. It's a priority thing.
Yeah. And I think this, in any career that you choose, like, you look at the difference. Like, I think back to the executives at Target, like who made it, who got promoted. Like, those were the people who were really passionate about their job. They were always asking and seeking ways to develop themselves, to improve their leadership skills, right? Their communication skills, compared to the other person who was just kind of coming in and punching the clock. Like, those people weren't getting recognized by leadership, right? And so you have to have, again, this level of, I think, passion and intention, and be willing to do the work. It's not just putting in the time, it's being intentional with the time that you put in. So I think, that's something, if you think about like the greatest basketball players like LeBron James or Michael Jordan, like they weren't just there at practices. They were practicing before practice, after practice, 4:30 in the morning, right?
Well, and I think of, and I'll argue this because I hate LeBron James, but that's just a personal opinion. I would say that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are on a different level than LeBron James, even because LeBron James has God-given talent, and that's, he is built for the sport. And yes, I know that he works hard. Obviously, he's one of the greatest of all time. But like, I think that, God-given ability can probably make you really good. It is not going to make you elite or excellent, because you still have to work. Like, you still have to put in the work. And what I would say too is, like, if you are thinking right now, I just don't have the time, or like I'm just so busy, look at what you're busy with. Like, Liz and I were talking about this, for me, this trunk or treat is like a thing that Carson's daycare does. Yeah. And my husband's like, please do not submit yourself to doing that. Like, and part of me wants to do it because I want to be amazing at everything I do. I want to be an amazing mom. I want to be an amazing practitioner. I want to be an amazing wife. I want to be an amazing athlete. And the reality is, you can only give yourself in so many areas. And so you have to look at like, what maybe me doing trunk or treat might not be like what's going to bring me to a next level mom. Maybe it's just adding more to my plate that I really should not be doing, because you have to like decorate your back of your car. And Nick was like, would that mean you have to clean your car? Of course. Just
Okay, but then you also have to look at, like, for example, like I thought about it and then I was like, wait a second. I mean, last year I remember, like, I bought all this stuff on Amazon. We bought all these goldfish, and then unfortunately Marcus got sick, so we couldn't go. It was also it turned out to be like a crappy morning, so I wasted time, energy, and effort that could have been spent doing other things more productively. And listen, this is not to bash anybody out there. It's like, one of my girlfriends, man, she is awesome with trunk or treat. Her car looks phenomenal. But I'm the friend that's like, hey, let me know what goldfish I can bring, or some good organic snack, and like, let's just hang out by your vehicle, because you're the person that's talented in this. That's not my talent. You guys, I can't pick things out to save my life. My husband has an eye for like our house decor, all of these things. I'm just like, yeah. He's like, do you want black or brown? I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. You're going to make it look amazing either way, so you pick, but I like the black, And so I think it's just, again, we've talked about this in other podcasts, like, choose to be excellent at what you're good at. Like, I think you can definitely work on developing skills and move from being kind of average to good, and then continue to craft those skills and learn, right, to become excellent and then elite. But there are areas of my life that I just know, like my sister, for example, she's phenomenal with crafting. It would take me way too many hours and days and YouTube video watching to probably make something that would look half as good as her. Let the experts do what the experts do best and spend your time in your area. I just know myself, there's just some things I'm not great at. As much as I want to be excellent or elite in a lot of things, I got to prioritize my time. And so kind of what, you brought up here in terms of like being busy. I don't have time. I would challenge everybody out there. Becca and I thought we didn't have time before we did 75 Hard. Now I'm looking at like, how did I make the time? Where did the time go? Right? And so it's really about, what is your priority? Because if it's a priority to you, you will make the time. One of the courses that I'm in is 8 hours a week minimum. Then I'm, doing course mentorship on top of that for the NTA. Then we have our clients, right? And then we're podcasting and we're creating content. All of these things, they all get done because it's a priority and I time block. Somebody mentioned to me earlier today that they're having trouble planning their week. They're having trouble coming up with like, what are we going to eat for the week? Because I just go to the grocery store and I just buy some things, for weeknight dinners or what my kids need. You're not taking time, 5 to 10 minutes to sit down, pick a couple of recipes, write that grocery list, which would save you a lot of time on the back end, because it's simply not a priority to you right now. So you got to pick and choose. What are your priorities? Also, where is your time being spent and what can you start to say no to or delegate? If you don't have time to go to the grocery store, guess what? Instacart is a thing. Uber Eats is a thing. I think they deliver from like Costco and some other places. Thrive, they're phenomenal. You can order things and you can get the right foods in the houses that you're choosing not to make that a priority. That's just the hard truth.
Yeah.
And it's a hard pill to swallow. And so again, don't complain about the things that you're not good at or you're not getting better at or you're not improving if you're not trying to intentionally make improvements in those areas.
And I think that a lot of people think that, for example, high achieving people are different. They're not different. Like I think Andy Frisella said something on the other day on his podcast, and he was like, the best thing you could do is get yourself in the company of very high achieving, successful people and realize they are no different than you are. They do not have some special skill set. They do not have some special trait they were born with or genetic predisposition they were born with. Like there is nothing special about people that have accomplished amazing things other than the fact that they, one, believed they could, and two, worked their asses off until they did it and then continue to do it and continue to find new ways to accomplish things. Like there is nothing non-special or special about you. You create that. And that's what I think so many people struggle with. Like they just think, oh, it's just not I'm just meant to be this way. Wah, wah, wah. Like that's how I think, and maybe that's not exactly what you're saying, but like the woe is me pity party ends up being our story we tell ourselves forever. And then you remain average because you only allow average for yourself. You accept average versus believing you are built for amazing things. And sure, maybe this sounds like some ridiculous inspirational speech, like whatever. At the end of the day, you have to believe that you can accomplish amazing things. Liz and I both have very large visions for what we want FitMom and our practice and everything in terms of what we're doing to be. I have grand visions and I believe that they will happen. If I sat here and was like, I'd really like for that X, Y, and Z to happen in my life, but it probably like, I'm not that good, or I'm not good enough to make that happen, or whatever it is, it'll never happen. Mm-hmm. It's not luck. It's not, you catch a big break. It's not, the right people. It's you get in contact with the right people. It's you make it happen. It's you believe that it can happen. No one deserves amazing or bad. You deserve what you believe you deserve. And that's the bottom line of this. Like if you accept average, you will be average. If you accept less than average, you will be less than average.
Yeah. And I think for, a lot of people, I've heard stories time and time again where maybe they were growing up and they were told that they didn't deserve something. And so they let that story sink in to become their reality of what they believe, right? And so you have two choices here. You can use that, as defeat, or you can use it as determination. So you're either going to be defeated because you believe that lie that you're not worthy of something or that you'll never be good at something, or you can use it as determination. Andy Frisella talks about this all the time. Like one of his teachers told him that he was going to be nothing. And he's like, F you, I'm determined to be something. And I have a lot of respect for Andy. I have a lot of respect for his wife, Emily, as well. And the values that they uphold in their companies. Mm-hmm. And so, whatever it is, if it's a story that you're telling yourself, if it's somebody in your life that's telling you you're not, good enough, or you're selfish because you want to get up and go to the gym and work out in the morning, or, it's something that from your childhood you've never dealt with and never really worked through. Maybe your parents, told you that you weren't good enough because you weren't the star player or whatever. Use that as determination to improve instead of letting yourself just feel defeated all the time, because there's nothing special about Andy. There's nothing special about me. There's nothing special about Becca, right? It's literally our attitude, the way that we think, and our determination to keep showing up. We fail all the time. Mm-hmm. Every single person fails. Inside that failure, we learn lessons. We learn what not to do. That's for dang sure, right? But we use that to fuel our fire and determination to keep going forward so that we can keep improving, we can keep evolving, and eventually get to that place that we want to be, excellent, elite. But you got to keep showing up. If you show up, one day of the week, we did a podcast, I think a couple months ago about this, but like the percentage of the time that you show up is going to be the percentage that you're good, right? Or that you win. Yeah. So you show up one day of the week, you're winning what? 1/7? What's that percentage? I don't even know. Can't do the math.
Math is not
you
my
guys
strong
get
suit.
it. Right. Not today anyways. You guys get the point there, right? So defeat or determination, it's all ultimately up to you.
Yeah. And again, it is a choice. You being average versus you being elite is a choice you make every single day in every action that you have in life. Like Liz was saying, you choose that one time, it's not going to be your reality long term. You make that choice as much and as often as you can. And here's the thing, it's never a linear progression. It's never like, yeah, I'm just going up and up and up and up and up, and it just keeps getting better and better and better. There is a roller coaster that gradually should go in the proper direction. And if it's not going in the proper direction, maybe you reevaluate your approach to it and your tactics and your routines. But in general, if you choose never to accept anything than what is as good as you can do, and be honest with yourself with what is the best that you can do, and then you execute that, you will find success. You will find success in the areas that you want to find and work towards finding success. But you have to realize, are you only accepting average? Are you doing something and being like, well, that's good enough? Or today's just not the day. I couldn't get to the grocery store. There was too much going on. You know what I do when I can't get to the grocery store? I drag my kids with me. Because they have, like I'm getting food for them too. I need to show them the importance of cooking and buying your own food and making your own food versus just running through the drive-thru again or just grabbing snacks for food. Like I want to show them that importance. That's a priority to me. And you can make it a priority to yourself too. You can deal with the complaining. You can deal with whatever. I deal with that all the time from Carson. Do you know how hard it is to get Taylor in the car seat right now? She literally is like wrangling a stray cat. Like it is me pushing her into the car seat with my forearm and trying to strap it with the other arm. Like it is impossible, but I do it. And I go to multiple stores with them both and I figure out how to entertain them throughout the process because it's a priority to me. And so you can't keep making excuses for like why you can't do it. Mm-hmm. Everyone figures it out, guys. Everyone. Instacart. Like there are so many options in today's world now.
There's literally no excuse.
No excuse.
Literally no excuse. It's an app on your phone. You could literally order your groceries while you're going to the bathroom. I mean, be honest, like you could. Mm-hmm. I don't recommend do it while you're driving, but I suppose you could do it while you're driving as well. Like you can do anything that is a priority to you, you'll figure it out. Technology is a blessing and a curse in some ways, but I think it's just figure out where your time is being spent right now and what your goals are and start to reprioritize and realign where you're spending your time to make sure that it's intentional and it's effective. There's so many things that we are working on. Like one of our practitioners yesterday, she's like, I don't know how you and Becca do it all. We make lists, we text each other a lot, and we just execute and we just show up. And sometimes we text each other too much. And so we're not spending our time appropriately. But at the end of the day, we're determined. And so sometimes that looks like 5 a.m. for us. Sometimes it looks like 10, p.m. or 9 p.m. for us, or Sunday mornings or Saturday mornings. It's not perfect, but this is a season that we're in to continue to grow, to continue to evolve, to work on our systems, to support our clients better. But it's a choice of mine. And I have sacrifices then that I make, right? Like you're not going out late on Friday night because you need to get up and you need to either study or work on things Saturday morning. Maybe you're saying no to, some of the things that you want to do with your family or your friends temporarily so that you can get that certification that you want. There's going to have to be sacrifices. But again, it's ultimately your choice. So don't complain if you're not willing to make the changes that you need to make and implement these things and make whatever it is a priority in your life. That's your choice today. Have a great day.